If you had a DeLorean, what would you tell a college football fan in 1999 about the game in 2022 without giving so much away that you create a time paradox? Now, that's an important caveat there. We cannot give so much away from 1999 to present-day versions of ourselves that we create a time paradox, because I think we've all been there a time or two. Whomst amongst us hasn't accidentally created a time paradox, and we all know how that ends up. And I don't want to go down that road. But I'll tell you what I would tell myself. Two things. One of them would be in 1999, I would say, hey, Saban is going to LSU. I think he may have been LSU by then, or he was about to go to LSU. You probably don't know much about him. He's the guy from Michigan State. He's going to end up winning a title. Look, this dude's eventually going to be so good he goes to the NFL. Do whatever you have to do to get inside the facility in Miami and make sure they get Drew Brees. You will change the sport forever. Not for Alabama, this would be bad news for Alabama, but for everybody else in college football, you will change the sport forever. Otherwise, there's going to be a gigantic crimson monster that's going to take the sport by the throat, and it's going to let you win a title every now and then, but largely you're just going to see crimson and white confetti in your dreams. You're going to see different colors of Gatorade soaking Nick Saban in your dreams for the next, I don't know, even in 2022. We don't know when this ends. So the first thing I would tell you is go and take a crowbar, go and slice the tires of whoever made the decision not to let them at Miami take Drew Brees, and let him take Drew Brees. For those unfamiliar, 5-second story. Saban was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. He wanted Drew Brees. The team doctors wouldn't clear him. They had to take Dante Culpepper instead. Saban was gone a year later. If they take Drew Brees, still had like 10 years left on his career, or more, as it turned out. So that was in, 05 or 06. Drew Brees just retired. Hall of Famer. Could have been at Miami with Saban. Saban could still be coaching down there. So that would theoretically take care of the Saban issue that has in some of your minds plagued the sport. I'm a big fan of Nick Saban being in college football. But aside from that, I would tell 1999 version, or I would tell 2022 version of myself if I were in 1999, make sure you keep the main thing the main thing. Make sure you crystallize the regular season. This is so old because I talk about it on here all the time, but yet when I look at our podcast numbers, so many of you are coming to the table every week. I mean, our numbers are growing during the dreaded O word, off season. That's because some of you don't believe in it, and thank you for that. But as more of you come here, I have to relitigate the reasons why we think the way we think on this show. When I say we, I don't mean me and our crew. I mean most of us listening to this show. Some of us disagree on whether we want to expand the playoff or not, but we all agree the best part of this sport is not the playoff. It's not what happens in random NFL stadiums where neutral site playoff games are held. We watch the games, we enjoy them, we want our team to make it there, but it's about the regular season. That's why we focus so much on the regular season on our show. It doesn't have to make sense to you if you're from the NFL side of the tracks. It doesn't have to make sense if you're an NBA fan or, rest in peace, Major League Baseball fan. No, it doesn't make sense because college football is not like your sport. There's room for all, by the way. I watch those other leagues. I watch college football. I'm totally fine with in the fact that in this sport, in our sport, we cherish the regular season, and the postseason is whatever, we'll take whatever result it gives us. It's not going to devalue the regular season. Well, what I would tell myself in 2022 is I would tell myself in 1999, make sure as you start having more and more traction given to this playoff idea, make sure you up front are able to spell out what the consequences are going to be. Now, it could be that they wouldn't listen to me anyway. There are a couple of famous parables in the Bible about how, why can't I just warn everybody? And God tells you it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you warn them. They're going to do the same thing. Watch and see what I tell you. So look, it may be that. It may be that even if I were to be able to go back in 1999 and tell everyone, just give them a vision of the future. You love the regular season right now. You also think you want a playoff. I'm warning you, you may not be able to have both. And then what if I were to tell 1999 me, or me and my friends, about bowl opt-outs? What if I were to tell them about the phrase meaningless bowl game, meaningless regular season game? What if I were to tell them there's going to be a small but very vocal group of people who claim none of the games matter, only a few teams matter now with your playoff put in place. I don't know how much it would change. At the very least, it would put a voice out there. And what it would do, it would give me credibility. So that after we got through the first round of changes, everyone would be able to look back on me and say, that guy was right the whole time. So hopefully then the words I said would have much greater meaning. I would be like an oracle. People would look at me as like a college football prophet of sorts, and I would not downplay it. Trust me, if you know me like you think you do, I would wear that crown. I mean, I'm actively petitioning to become the commissioner of this sport. You don't think I would accept the title of prophet instead? Certainly I would. I love all forms of profiting. With the F, with the PH, I love all forms. Bring it. The more profiting, the merrier. So I think I would just warn. I would just put up warning signs and caution signs. That's my answer there.